uh, to hopefully plan better, strategize better for your business. Okay, so that's what I'm going to be doing. So first of all, few guidelines. As Turai already mentioned, it'll be lovely if everybody can keep their video on. Participate, keep your phones on silent. We don't want phones ringing. And in fact, probably turn off your phones for the next 1.5 hours if it's possible, because you don't want to be disturbed unless it's unavoidable. Also, I do want you all to, ask questions, to contribute. You can ask questions in the chat. You can raise a hand and ask a question, because if I'm saying something that doesn't make sense, it is better that we pause, answer, and then move on. Otherwise, I will lose you somewhere along the process. So feel free to question, feel free to contribute. Only if it gets too long, I may kind of cut it off because we have limited time. I hope you all are okay with that. A quick introduction. I think Durai already said I am a chemical engineer, MBA from Bajaj, 27 plus years of sales leadership experience. I worked for companies like ICI, NES, Tech Mahindra, SAP for the longest time. I was SAP for almost a decade in various sales and leadership roles. Oracle for 2 years after that as the ERP head for Pan India. And then last 8.5 years, I've been running GoPush Consulting, helping small and mid-sized companies to improve their sales performance. So that's about me. What we're going to cover today, okay, I'll just quickly touch on that. We're going to talk about, I'll do a quick introduction to the topic, okay? Not getting into too much detail, but quick introduction to the topic. We'll discuss a little bit about sales strategy, and then some aspects of sales planning, and finally a little one slide about me. So, that's what we're going to do. So first, I'm going to do one quick activity. I want to start with the survey. Okay, so in this survey, which is going to come up now, I'll ask you to answer on a scale of 1 to 10. I hope this works. I've not done surveys on Zoom too often. I hope this works, but let's try. So on a scale of 1 to 10, if at all you have done some sort of a strategic planning exercise for your business, on a scale of 1 to 10, where would you rate yourself? As in 1 where you're not at all confident, this either you're not done it at all, so you're like 1, or you're really not at all confident about what has been done so far, to a scale of 10 where you're like dead sure we have really thought of everything, right? So I'm just going to raise this poll for you guys right now. If you can just be kind enough to answer it. Okay, just give me a second. Yeah. So this poll is going to come up, and after this poll is done, I will ask you a question, another question. Okay. So has the poll come up on your screens? If it has, you can just answer the poll. It won't take more than a second. Yeah. This is just a gut reaction. You may not be 100% sure, but that's okay. We're just trying to get a gut reaction. So 15 of 25 have participated so far. The remaining 10 can quickly do it. It'll be lovely. Okay, so we have about 17 responses. I think the remaining 8 have chosen not to respond, or maybe they're not in a position to respond. Maybe they're driving. So I don't want you to, do things on your phone when you're driving. Please don't do that. So, okay. So I don't know how to show the results. Are you guys able to see this poll? Are you all able to see the results? 1 second. I'll have to unmute you for that. 1 second. 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 1 sec Yeah, can Durai, can you just say, are you all able to see the poll results? Okay, maybe you're not. I'm not able to hear any answers. So basically, what this is telling me, this poll is telling me, I'm just going to take a quick screenshot and maybe show it to you on the slide itself. Okay. Yeah. So, okay, share results. Yeah, you should be able to see this now. Are you all able to see the screen? So if you see here, in terms of confidence, right? I mean, 17 people answered, and there is how many? Like a small percentage, maybe around 18 plus 6, 24 plus 12, 36% of you are like fairly confident to very confident, okay? And the remaining maybe 64% odd are not really confident about the strategy or plan that they made for the business. So let's see what we can do as part of this, as part of this session to figure out whether we can improve on this. Okay. So I want you to just take 2 minutes, okay, to write down in your notebooks. You don't have to share with me or with the audience because I understand, obviously, confidentiality. You're a CEOs of businesses. You don't want to share your specific business thing, but for yourself, please take 2 minutes to write down in your book why you answered what you answered. Okay. Like, for example, for someone who said, like, I'm a 4 on 10, okay, that means I'm fairly, very shaky about the strategy and plan that they have made. Write down why you're saying that. Similarly, for someone who answered like a 8 or 9 or a 10, please write why you answered like that also, both ways, so that you are clear in your mind that I have done a good job here. I involved all my leaders, and then I did this planning, so I'm very confident about what I have done. So just take 2 minutes to write down, and then we'll move to the next one. Okay. So as I said, this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to be interactive, so that you all are able to get some value out of it. Otherwise, what will happen is, I'll just be speaking, and nothing will, not really achieve much out of it. So yeah, take 2 minutes to write down. Okay, let's move on. So, a quick introduction, right, to the topic of sales planning, sales strategy. Just a thought about why is strategy and business planning so critical in uncertain times, right? I mean, we are living in an environment right now as we speak. Most of the plans, especially if we are exporters to the US or to many other markets, given the turmoil that's going on right now, with the US really coming down with all kinds of reciprocal tariffs and everything, there's a lot of uncertainty going on. So, in such a situation, one may ask this question: that is there even a point, of fixing up our strategy or fixing up our business plan, because everything is changing. But yes, it is still useful. I'm just going to show you all a quick video. I hope you all are able to see it. 1 minute, okay? Give me a second. Yeah. Just look at this video and then we'll discuss what we learned from it. Okay, so for the moment, okay, I'm just going to open it up. Anyone would like to share? It was a very small, short video. I can play it again. Anyone would like to share? What did you catch from this video? You can just unmute yourself and speak up. Anyone would like to share what you caught from this video?
Can I?
Yeah, please go ahead.
There are two figures of photographs or videos. There are two videos in this. One is a big landscape,
Yeah.
and where you are not able to connect with the target or not able to make the target. It is just helter skelter going here and there. And the second one was a sort of a board is made where your focus is converging, and
Yeah.
then you are targeting and then you're making target to work on. That is what I
Got
could
it.
understand.
Got it. Any other thoughts? I'm just showing you this again. Any other thoughts? Anybody else? What's happening in an unplanned business? What's happening in a strategic and planned business?
Can I?
Any other thoughts? Thank you, Ramendra. Yeah.
Well.
Yeah, go ahead. Who else?
Yeah. So the first
Sir, like
in the first
planning
is like
Yes, please
Yeah,
carry
go
on.
ahead. Go ahead.
hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, like
Sorry.
planning and
So
strategy
in the
of your
first
business or target is so accurate that small obstacles or small problems, they cannot stop you to achieving your target. So once you see the image and video, you can see small like things, the speed, the moment, the arrow will come, they will hit the target. So
Okay.
that is the power of strategy and
Strategic
planning.
planning. Okay. Okay. Anybody
Yes.
else? Anybody else? What did you all
can
see
I?
from the first part of the video? Yeah, go ahead, Mr. Gupta.
Yeah.
Can I go ahead, Ajay?
Yeah, go ahead.
In my understanding, first part is like you are in a sea here and there, and second part is focus as if you are focusing on a particular dish wherein you have already set the target, and then you have to hit the target.
Yeah. Very good. Okay.
Un-
Pankaj,
un-
you want to say something? Pankaj?
Yeah. So in the first thing, it is like we are like a broken leaf out of a tree, where we are just swaying along with the wind. Wherever wind is taking us, we are going.
Absolutely. Yes.
And the second video says that we are the strategy helps us to as a bow and we hit. There is a target, and our every business as a business as an arrow, considering business as an arrow, we hit our target.
Absolutely. So this is precisely what I want to bring out. See, forget about our business, right? Even in our lives, as they say, those who fail to plan to fail. It's a very commonly heard statement. Those who fail to plan to fail. You're actually planning that I will fail. Now, what happens is when we don't plan, we are driven by circumstances. You know, what happens is, today wind blew in this direction. So our business blows in that direction. Today wind blows in that direction, our business will blow in that direction. If we are not able to decide what we want to do, because we are merely reacting to the market sentiments, we are reacting to market circumstances, we are reacting to opportunities, we are reacting to problems in our business. Whereas, so it's literally like a leaf, a raven leaf, a leaf which has fallen off the tree. It just blows in the direction the wind takes. It's just blowing like that here and there. This is not true only for businesses, it's true for life as well. So therefore, for us, it's very important to understand that, when we are running a business, if we are focused, see, you may say that, oh, just by building a target, by putting a target and by making a plan for it, does it mean that external circumstances won't affect me? Oh, of course they will. 100% they will. No matter how hard you plan.
Moji, you can mute.
Yeah. I'm just doing that. Give me a second.
Moji? Yeah.
Yeah. So, no matter how hard you try to set up your business plan and everything, there is always going to be a situation, where something will happen in the market. Your competitor will launch some, product, some tariff comes in, or some act of God happens. I mean, these things will anyway happen. But if you are clear about what is your target, like in the second part of the video, you will at least know which direction I'm driving my business. That, yeah, you may have small detours here and there, but the general direction of the business you're very clear about. So that is why, in uncertain times, it is probably even more important for a business CEO to actually do some sort of strategic planning, to do some sort of business planning. So that's what I wanted to just share. Okay. So now I'm moving to the next part of my, presentation, which is something called a planning gap. Okay. I had asked all of you all to come ready with some numbers, right? As in, what numbers, what revenue did you do in FY 22, 23, 24, and 25? And what are you looking to grow at in FY 26? Now, these numbers you don't have to share with me, but for yourself, you should be clear. Now, if your company has been growing, let's say at a CAGR of 12%, an average compounded annual growth rate of 12%, as it is shown on this slide over here, this graph over here. So the company was maybe, let's say, 110 crores in FY22, at the end of FY22. And if it has grown at around 12% per annum, by FY25, it would have touched around 150, 153 crores, around that region. Okay. Now, if it continues to grow at the same CAGR, okay, same growth rate, in FY26, you'll probably touch around 170 CR. But suppose this year you are saying that no, this year we will not go at 12%, we will break out. This is our breakout year, because our markets have matured, our products, our services have matured, we have more reference customers, we have funds available, blah, blah, blah. There could be 100 reasons why you're planning to expand at a faster rate than you have grown all these years. So if you say, for example, that this year you want to grow at 22%, right? So if this year from whatever that 152 crores you grew by 22%, instead of 170 crores, you'll touch around 185 crores. Okay. So the planning gap, which is, if everything went as per normal, you would probably end at 170. But if I do something different, then I'll be able to touch maybe 187 or whatever that number is, right? Around 15 crores of additional top line revenue is what I'm planning for. Now, that gap between the 187 or whatever that number is and 170, that 15.3 CR that it is showing over here is what I call the planning gap. Now, if I don't plan for this, I don't specifically put in place certain initiatives, maybe in sales, maybe in my manufacturing, if I'm a services company, in terms of my services, in terms of the employees I have, if I'm a software company, in terms of products, in terms of markets, or whatever I'm doing, right? If I'm not putting in the right initiatives for that, that gap will not be covered. I will still end up at 170 only. So it's a very specific thing. Now, for example, someone may say, I want to double my revenue. For example, if you're on a smaller, smaller base, maybe you're not a very large company, you're thinking, what is this 15, 20%? I want to double my revenue this year, right? So my question to you would be, And I'll ask whoever wants to speak, please, raise your hand and unmute yourself. So, if you are doubling your revenue, okay, if you double your sales team, suppose you have a sales team of, let's say, 10 people, okay, and you say this year we will double our revenue. So if you double your sales team, will your revenue double automatically? What are the thoughts? Will your revenue double? Anyone who has any thoughts on this, please share. What needs to change? What else needs to change other than the sales team increasing? Yeah, somebody on chat. Okay, no, Ramendra is saying no, it will not double. Okay, so then what else needs to change? Yeah, Durai sir. Go ahead. You can unmute yourself and speak up, Durai.
Yeah. So, doubling, for example, you have a team of, say, 10 people. You want to increase 10 more people.
Yeah.
Unless you go, expand your geography. For example, if you are already having 10 executives which are needed for that territory, then if you are putting more and more, also the same sales is going to happen. That is one thing. That is one reason should be geographical expansion.
Correct.
And the second one is if you are already having the same products, like if you are not increasing your product portfolio, then increasing the sales people also may not be bringing. This is what is two instant thoughts which I got it.
Absolutely. Very good. So one is look at the territory. Second, look at your product portfolio, or if you have services portfolio, because just increasing the number of salespeople proportionately is not good enough. What else needs to change? Anything else that needs to change for you to meet that planning gap? What else?
Forward and backward integration, sir.
Forward and backward integration. If you're a manufacturing company, you need to look at maybe backward integration. But if you're going to double, maybe your supply chain is not ready for it. So you may have to really do something fantastic. You may have to maybe acquire one of your vendors and see that, okay, let's see what we can do to grow our business, right? So the forward or backward integration, very good point. Pankaj, you wanted to say something? Or was that Pankaj who spoke just now? I didn't catch it.
Yes.
No, Ajay, it was Ajay, sir.
Okay, yeah. Pankaj, you want to say something?
Another thing is to actually, move on to a high product.
High product meaning?
High price products, increasing your
high price, premium products. Yeah.
Premium products, yes.
Absolutely.
High ticket selling or something like, increasing the average, like in exports, what we call is average FOB, like,
yes.
average value of your sales.
Absolutely. Great point. So basically just saying that, I want to increase my sales by 10%, 30%, 100%, 150%. It is very easy, especially at our level, right? CEOs, we get tempted to make such statements because we feel, let's do it. This year we'll double the revenue, and we are all gung-ho about it. But the rest of the organization is shivering because they don't know how to say no to you, and they're not committed to that number. And if no planning is done, anyway, that number is not going to happen, and people will just get demotivated because you're going to be really shouting at them that we said we'll do 100, we did only 60. What is this nonsense? Actually, 60 is fairly good. But, nobody will be happy because, we have probably overthought the number. So other than just sales, right? Sales teams, we have to look at so many other things. Like, for example, we can look at process. Are my processes ready? My manufacturing process, my procurement process, my sales process, my marketing process, my HR process, even HR. Yeah, because if you're going to double your revenue, you're going to need not double, maybe at least 1.5 times the number of employees. Do I even have the capacity to hire so many people? Do I have the brand to hire so many people? Because if I put out an offer, if I'm a very small, mid-sized kind of very small company, I put out 10 offers, only 4 join, only 3 join. If that is my reality, imagine if I have to add 150 people in the next 3 months. It's a huge challenge. So therefore, just putting a number that this is my target is not good enough. We need to plan for it also. there has to be some rationale also, some logic behind why this number, right? I mean, why 30%, why 22%, why 100%, right? So we must, we must think about it. Take maybe 1 minute just now, all of you, to note down in your organization, for your business, okay, which at least one process. Think of at least one. You can write two, you can write five also, but at least the top one or two processes that absolutely must improve for you to meet this planning gap in your business. See, all of you will need to do this activity. Maybe we do it offline, but do it because it will give you clarity about what my planning gap is for my business. I've been growing at this rate and now I'm going to grow at this rate. So, okay, what's the planning gap for me? And then that planning gap is what we do, lot of, what do you say, a lot of digging, a lot of churning upon. So take a minute, write down at your end which one or two processes absolutely must improve for you to meet the planning gap. When you're done, just put a word on chat saying done. When you've written down what are those two processes, just write down a word on chat saying done. I hope all of you are with me. I'm just, because I'm not able to see all of you, but I hope all of you are with me. There aren't too many videos on, so can't make out. There are some. Good. Okay. So anyone would like, I mean, you don't have to share, but anyone would like to share, did you all at least, you don't have to share what process you want to improve, but did this particular activity, did you learn something from this? Did you pick up something that, yeah, this is useful, maybe I should do this? Anyone would like to share anything? You can raise your hand and then unmute yourself. Anybody? Okay. If there is nobody, I'll move on to the next thing. I was asking you that think about why, right? Don't just come up with a number. When I do consulting activities with CEOs, right? They say, I want to grow by 40% this year. I ask them, how much have you grown last few years? We've been growing at around 15%. 40% kahan se aaya bhai? Where did it come from? So more often than not, they don't have a clear answer. So I really pinch them on that, that please be clear in your mind why 40%. There has to be some logic. There's always vision. There's always, this desire that CEOs have and must have, that we should do more than what, we should stretch beyond what our immediate, visible capability is. But it should be such that it is achievable also. The team should feel motivated. They should feel enthused, to even go for it. I'm just going to put up this slide. This is called competitive benchmarking. Okay, this is just to give you a view that, for instance, maybe you could, if your competitors are, let's say, they are, listed companies, okay, where you have availability of public domain data. This is a peer comparison between, pharmaceutical companies, for example. Okay, these are pharmaceutical companies. Very old slide. It's a very, very old slide, but I'm just putting it up here as an example for you to understand what kind of benchmarking can be done if financial data is available. So over here, you can see a peer comparison has been done on some 6 or 7 parameters. Okay, so you looked at revenue growth, revenue per employee, cost of goods sold, R&D expenses, SG&A, days in inventory, DSO, all these typical business parameters, right? So on these business parameters, what it is showing is who is the peer worst, the one in the red, and who's the peer best, which is the one in yellow. Okay. So, and the one in between is actually your company. It is your company. So over here, you can see the company which is being benchmarked against its peers in revenue growth, they are 15%. Okay. The company's name is Amgen or something like that. And the peer best there was 66%, Sanofi. If you look at days in inventory, okay, they are the peer worst. They have 332 days of inventory. 332 days of inventory in their business. So, and Abbott is the peer best with, let's say, 104 days of inventory. Now, what happens is, when we were in SAP, we used to make these kind of comparisons. We used to present it to the CEO of a company or the CFO of a company. And when you present it this way, the CEO becomes very uncomfortable, because this is not a very nice slide to see, where you're being compared against your peers, and days in inventory, we used to get pushback. No, you don't understand. Our business is different. We are new in the market. We have just launched our product. So we need to have more inventory in the market. Otherwise, competitive brands are much more powerful brands, blah, 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 blah. We say, yes, accepted, taken, all good. But 3x, where is 104? Where is 332? What if we show you that you can achieve the same amount of sales or higher sales with, instead of 332, I bring it down to you for you to 200? Would that make sense to you, right? So this kind of a competitive benchmarking helps companies to set goals for themselves, that, yeah, this is what I think I need to improve compared to my peers in the market. So this is what we call competitive benchmarking. But this also gives you an idea to decide, like, for example, if you're a very large base peer is growing at 100% and you're growing at 15%, okay, obviously there's something they're doing better than you are. Is it that they have better products? Is their customer service better? Is their pricing more aggressive? Do they have more distributors on the ground? I mean, this opens up a whole Pandora's box of all the things that we need to do if we want to aspire for a larger revenue growth rate, right? So this is a good activity that you can, if your competitors are listed companies, you can always do this and check out who's doing what, how is everyone performing on these important parameters. And based on that, you can decide what your growth rates are, what kind of targets you want to set for yourself, and be convinced that, I'm putting this number because it is real. It is not some made up, something I just plucked out of my hat. Okay. So this is what I want to share in terms of an introduction on strategy and planning. Okay, so now I'm going to move on in terms of sales strategy, right? I mean, if you look at strategy now, I've decided, as we said, I've decided that, let's say I want to grow to 185 crores. Okay, if I grew at the normal rate, I would have probably touched 170. I want to go to 185 crores. So what is the strategy I must have? What are the things that I need to think of when I am growing my business? What are the strategy elements? Okay, so I'm just going to put down a few questions over here, and I'll quickly discuss these questions with you guys. And, at the end, as I said, we can take questions. If you have a question, raise your hand right now. Okay, and I'll be happy to answer. So the first thing in any business, okay, and very often overlooked point in any business is, how do I retain my existing clients? Like, for example, if I'm doing, let's say today I'm doing a run rate business. I close my business at, let's say, 150 crores, okay, this year. Now, if I have to grow by even my 12% to bring it to 170 crores or whatever it is, I obviously need to retain my existing business. Whichever territory, if I'm a B2C business, whichever territories I'm doing business, I need to retain those territories. If I'm doing a B2B business, then I need to retain those clients. So my first question to myself from a strategy perspective, I should be asking myself, I should be asking my leadership, what are we doing to retain our existing clients? This is the first question. Okay. The next question is basically, for my existing clients, my existing territories, whatever it is, right? How will I grow my existing clients? So often companies, tend to get pulled in a particular direction. Often it is because investors are putting pressure on them, or it is just this very romantic notion that growth means new logos, new logos, new logos. Very true. I mean, if you're not getting new logos, you're not going to grow in the long run. Okay. But genuine growth and very stable, reliable growth comes from growing existing clients. So, what is my strategy to grow my existing accounts, my existing clients? So, if I have, let's say, 150 existing customers, I need a strategy to grow those accounts, to grow those clients. I must know which of these 150, which are the top 10% of those clients, right? I mean, which are probably giving me 70, 80% of my revenue. Which are those clients? What special am I doing to ensure those clients, A, never leave me, and B, keep giving me additional business? So some sort of account planning, strategic account planning needs to be done to think about how I can grow those clients. If I'm not doing that, and I'm just kind of, okay, I've got a sales guy handling that account, he'll do it, he'll somehow manage. They don't manage. Believe me, 25 plus years of experience, salespeople left to themselves will just do what is easy to do. Pick up existing orders, that's it. They're not going to struggle to get into new lines of business, to get into new territories within that account, going to multiple subsidiaries, new stakeholders. Doesn't happen. Unless the sales rep is really, it's got a lot of high initiative, high potential. Otherwise, generally, they don't do it. So I need to, as a CEO, have some thoughts, some strategy about how will I grow my existing clients. The third element, of course, how will I gain new clients? So there has to be some thought process behind this also. How do I gain new clients? Because it's not that easy. As they say, it is 5x easier to get additional business from a new client, from an existing client, than from a new client. So getting new clients, long sales cycles. If you're a manufacturing company, approvals take a lot of time. If you're a software product company, again, multiple demos, multiple stakeholders. Services company, yeah, sales cycle can be shorter. But again, if you're buying if you're taking a project, lot of manjan, lot of due diligence is done, contracts and so much work to get new clients. So if I don't have clarity that today, out of that 15.3 CR growth that I'm looking at, okay, how much of that will come from growing my existing clients? I mean, to the limit. If I stretch it to the limit, how much will come? And how much of it has to necessarily come from new clients? I must have an answer to that, right? So then I will know that, okay, out of 15 crores, maximum 10 will come from, let's suppose my incremental revenue is, let's say 100 crores. I'm making it so more stark, okay? Incremental revenue, growth revenues, let's say 100 CR. Out of that 100 CR, maybe we are saying 50, 60 will come from existing clients' growth. How much of it will come from new clients? 40 crores. 40 crores, how many new logos does that translate into? I need to know that right at the start of the year. Because if I know that I need to add 15 logos to get to that 40 crores, 15 new logos, I have to start work now. If I don't start now and I leave it to later, I mean, converting a client can take 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, depending on what business you are in. So therefore, I need to have clarity right at the start of the year. How many clients do I need to have, new clients, and how will I gain those clients? Then there is this aspect of win rate. I asked you to come prepared with win rate. Okay. So each of you would know that if I'm going after a new client, okay, let's suppose I'm going into a new territory. I'm going into a new territory if I'm a B2C business. And my apologies, because what I speak will tend to sound more B2B than B2C, but I'll try to give some B2C examples as well. So if I'm getting into, a new territory, suppose I've been doing business in only India, I'm saying that now I will get into Nepal, I'll get into Bangladesh, I'll get into Sri Lanka, I'll get into Dubai, UAE, okay? So typically what has been my win rate, that if I approach 10 clients who are actually looking to buy what I sell, 10 clients or 100 clients that are actually looking to buy within a given time frame what I sell, how many of those am I able to convert? It's a very powerful metric for every CEO must know this. What is your win rate? Because if tomorrow your growth targets needs you to add 15 logos and your win rate, okay, that is, percentage of clients that you're able to convert, net new clients you're able to convert from a whole list of clients who were looking to buy but didn't buy from you. So if your win rate, let's say, is 10%, then to close 15 new logos, you have to have 150 conversations during the course of the year. You have to find 150 clients who are looking to buy what you sell in the time frame that of this financial year. 150 conversations you have, then you will be able to close 15 logos. But if your win rate is 30%, then just basically, by talking to maybe 45 clients, you will be able to still close 15 new logos. You see the difference? It's very, I mean, by talking 50 clients, probably you'll be able to close, 15 logos. So win rate becomes a very critical parameter for a business. If my win rate is low, I need to struggle much harder to meet my growth targets. But if my win rate is high, yeah, I'm running a premium business, I'm running a good business. So win rate becomes a very critical criterion. And I need to think as a CEO, what can I do when I'm doing strategy? I need to think that what can I do or what can my sales team do to improve win rate? Do we sell better? Do we price better? Do we talk only to particular kind of clients? Today we're talking to anybody. कोई भी आता है आसपास, anybody who comes close to my business, I go grab them and I try to sell to them. No, I need to be very, succinct. I need to be very clear that where am I spending my efforts? Am I spending my efforts where it counts, where it will actually generate business for me? Or am I always ending up barking up the wrong tree? Which is why my win rate is low. Win rate is low, it means a lot of wasted effort for the company, right? So that's why win rate. What can I do to improve my win rate? Which regions will I operate in? Today, as I said, India, will I get into Southeast Asia? Will I get into Europe? Will I get into Germany in Europe? Which regions will I operate in? So which are the existing regions? Which are the new regions? If it's a B2C business, you need to critically evaluate which regions you want to enter into. What is the market potential there? How competitive is it? Is there a need? Is there a need for your product or your service? Right? So I need to do that evaluation and then decide which regions I want to go into. It can't be just basically, yeah, let's go to Germany. Let's go to UAE. UAE is a very good market. 2.5 times what price we're getting in India, we'll get in UAE. 5 times what we're getting in India, we'll get in the US. It all sounds very nice on paper. But if you don't have a clear strategy about why you want to get into those markets, believe me, you'll end up spending a lot of time and money and not much will really come out of it. So this is another element of sales strategy. Which regions will I operate in? What is my value proposition? This is a question, of course, if you've got dozens and hundreds of products or services, it is difficult to define a value proposition. But, it is important to know that what is your value proposition, especially if you're selling high value products. If you're selling low value products, B2C kind of business, big deal. But yeah, there too, what is your brand value proposition comes in. But if you're doing a B2B business, you need to know what is your value proposition. What is the value that I'm adding? If you are not clear, I mean, at your level as a CEO, if you are not clear about what value you are adding to your customers, how can you even expect your sales people, your marketing people, your support people to even have a clue. They will be completely clueless. If you don't know what is your value proposition, they also will not know. And if you and your employees don't know what is the value proposition, we are dreaming if we expect that our customers know our value proposition. So another important element of sales strategy is to know what is my value proposition, right? And these are things that need to be developed. All this is all these points that I'm giving you over here, these are all, I don't know how many of you are taking notes, how many of you are actually noting down, but these are the points that your business needs to think about, when you're coming up with your strategy, sales strategy, that I'm going to grow from X to Y. What all do I need to do to take from X to Y? What all, changes do I need to bring in my business? Okay, so this is some points. Few more. What offerings will I sell more of? What will I sell less of? Now, here's where profitability comes into the picture, right? We are not running just a top line business. We want to run a profitable business. So sales strategy also involves this aspect of thinking through which are the offerings, means products or services that I want to sell more of, because these are profitable. I make good money on these products. I'm selling too little of it. I need to sell more of this. And there may be some products which have been there in the business, traditional products. I have been selling this for last 10 years. Oh, great. But if the market for it has moved on, competitors have come out with more innovative solutions, and, or the market has become very commoditized. Now, I need to really critically evaluate, that should I continue selling over here, or should I just get out of this product? Because yeah, it's not making any money. I'm getting some revenue. There's a huge struggle to get that revenue, but it's not making any money for me. Okay. So this is another element of sales strategy. Which offerings will I sell more of? Which ones will I sell less of? Then, if I have to introduce new products, new services as a company, every company worth their salt has to do this. Because if we as a company are relying only on what service has been very successful for me, or what product has been very successful for me, some brand, some product, some service, something, very well, it's selling very well. If we don't reinvent ourselves every few years, we don't keep coming up with something innovative, somebody sitting in some garage or some bedroom with his laptop and Gen AI will come up with an idea that will disrupt your business. It's happening already, right? I mean, I don't need to tell you. All of you know this is what is happening today. Someone can just sitting in my bedroom here, I can just start a new business. I can just ask ChatGPT, tell me what are the ideas for a new business, and I can ask it to generate code, and I can do everything. Of course, finally I have to create an organization as well. But yeah, it's not so difficult today to start a business. Much easier, right? So new offerings are what get me growth. New offerings are what reinvents the organization. It energizes the organization. So as a CEO, I should never go into that comfort zone. Ki yaar, this is selling, this is selling, this is selling. I just keep selling this, boss. Forget new product. There's too much investment there. We spent crores on this product and it didn't work. Hard luck. If you spent a lot of money on a product and it didn't work for you, maybe there's something wrong. I mean, your market research wasn't good enough. Your product wasn't good enough. Your pricing wasn't appropriate. Your go-to-market wasn't appropriate. Whatever it is, right? Figure it out. Find out what needs to be done. How good is my product market fit? How will I bring it to market? When will I bring it to market? These are questions that you need to ask. That, if just because I've created a new product, right? I mean, or a new offering, it doesn't mean the market is going to sell it, is going to buy it. It needs a lot of thinking. That is it really solving an unsolved need in the market? Will customers pay a premium for this? These are the thoughts that you need to have from a new product introduction perspective. Then pricing. This is a very sticky, prickly kind of issue, right? I mean, what is my pricing going to be? If I'm a product company, every year I want to increase prices. I personally believe that, we salespeople and we business leaders, we are the ones who contribute to inflation of the country. The whatever inflation is there that the government talks about, we are the guys who contribute to it because we increase prices every year. So if we are increasing prices, which products or services will I increase pricing? What impact will it have on the market, on my sales, on my profitability, on my existing customer retention? If I increase price in some customers, like if I'm doing a renewal with let's say it's a services company, I'm doing a renewal with them. Last year I did it for, let's say, 1 lakh. Okay. Now next year I'm saying, I'll take 1,10,000. Okay. Like I've got this Schindler, which does the maintenance for my building lift. It's a Schindler lift, so they do the maintenance. And every year, they increase the price by 6%, 10%, 12%, like that. Every year. Just every year, right? At some point, I'm going to say, to hell with Schindler. Let me find another vendor who is not Schindler, but who has access to Schindler parts, and let them do the service. They'll do it for maybe 30,000. But I am paying 1,15,000 today. I hope there's nobody from Schindler on the call. So either ways, right? So this is what happens. The pricing has an impact on the market, on the existing customers, on new customers. Sometimes when you raise the price of a particular product, it reduces sales, but it becomes profitable sales. So this simulation of pricing versus volumes and versus profitability and customer retention, a very critical aspect. We can't just go and blindly increase prices. Oh, tell our salespeople, increase prices by 15% across the board. Yeah, you can do that if you're a monopoly or a duopoly. But if you're in a competitive market, you try doing that. And if your competition takes advantage of that, you lose market share. So you should be prepared for that. It should be part of your strategy. And last, how will I use marketing, right? I mean, marketing is a very strategic tool. It's a very, very strategic tool that can be used by CEOs to really take their brand to the next level. Okay. Marketing is a very strategic tool. However, marketing has become expensive and it has become ineffective as well. So even for marketing, some sort of a strategy is needed. We can't just put a marketing intern, somebody with 1 year, 2 years experience, and tell them, you run marketing campaigns for us and expect that it'll work for you, because then every 6 months you'll be sacking those people. Hey, useless guy, he's not done anything for us. Because that guy, poor fellow, has no experience of what marketing really is, what works, what doesn't work. So therefore, we need to first be clear in our minds as CEO that what is my purpose? Why do I want to do marketing? I mean, it could be I want to enhance my brand. Today, if somebody thinks of LCD panels, they should think of me. Somebody thinks of machine learning services, they should think of me. Somebody thinks of chocolates, they should think of me. It could be brand. Okay, just brand. That my brand is more. If I call a client, a potential client, I say I'm calling from GoPush Consulting. He'll like, GoPush Consulting, who? Or they say, yeah, I've heard about you. You write a lot on LinkedIn, right? Yeah, I do. So that's a beautiful feeling, right? I mean, you call a complete stranger and that person says that, oh, yeah, I've seen your post. You write well. Fantastic, right? So marketing can achieve that for you, build a brand for you. Other than brand, it can also create leads for you. I mean, inbound leads, inbound inquiries from customers who are reaching out to you. So it can do that. It can help you to set up a complete, if you're a consumer business, a complete D2C kind of business, it can help you to set up that as well. So leads, one aspect of marketing is brand. Second is leads, inbound leads. And the third aspect is employee branding or employer branding, whatever you may call it. Now, I gave that example earlier, right? I mean, if you need to hire 150 people this year, okay, you have, let's say, 450 people, and you need to hire 150 people this year because you're planning to double your revenue. Yeah, good luck to you, because if your brand as a company, like there's this concept of glass door, right, where people put reviews about their current or ex company. Now, if you've got a horrible rating on Glassdoor, good luck with hiring. It's going to be very tough. So sometimes we need to invest in employee or employer branding as well, so that people who are looking at my website, people who are looking at my LinkedIn page, who are looking at the posts on my LinkedIn page, they see a happy organization. They see a fast growing company. They see growth for themselves there. They see themselves fitting into this culture. So I need to brand my company as well. So all of this is done by marketing. Now, in marketing, I need to be clear. If I'm doing branding or I'm doing leads, I need to be clear where are those people who I intend to reach? Which channels will I use, right? Which offerings of mine will I promote? Which channels will I use? How often will I do it? How much will I spend? All of these are part of your marketing strategy. So when we look at strategy, it is basically given a particular growth target, a particular planning gap, I need to now decide what is going to be my sales and marketing strategy to meet that. Is that clear? I'll just pause for 1 minute. If there's anyone who wants to ask any questions right now, or shall I take questions at the end? I'm okay with both. Anyone has any thoughts on this?
Siddharth, please, I think we can once for all, we can complete the flow. It's a suggestion.
Okay.
Let us have the question and answer session towards the end of the session.
Yes, I think let's complete that.
Sure. So now we spoke about strategy, right? Now you made a strategy, you thought I'll do this, I'll get into this market, I'll launch this new product, I'll get into this new geography, I'll add more salespeople, blah, blah, blah. You've done a lot of strategic work, okay, which is directional in nature. Now, before you actually execute the strategy, there has to be some element of planning, right? So strategy is about direction, but what is my plan to go in that direction and execute in that direction? That's what sales planning is about, okay? So there are some questions that, we can look at here as well. For example, if I'm saying that I want to do, let's say, 200 crores this year, okay? How much of that needs to come in Q1? How much in Q2? How much in Q3? And how much in Q4? Now, what will decide this? Historical numbers. Oh, well, historically, hockey stick effect. Q4, we get more than 45% of our revenue, traditionally. And Q1, though, is not even 5%. Q2 is maybe 10%, and something like that. So, over the years, we also kind of become resigned to our fate. Ki, this is how it is, boss. This is how my revenue comes. Okay, but we should have some perspective that no, I want to change this. And if I want to change this, how much pipeline do I need at the start of each quarter, especially if you're running a B2B business? How much pipeline do I need to have at the start of the quarter, given my win rate, so that I can meet my quarterly target? For instance, if 200 crores, I'm saying 10% happens in Q1. That means 20 crores. Now, out of 20 crores, one may say that around 15 crores is already in the bag. Existing customers, pakka, this is sure short revenue. 16 is already in the bag. Okay, so then the remaining 4 crore has to come from new revenue. Now, if my win rate is 10%, it means I should have pipeline of at least 40 CR. 40 CR worth of pipeline, 10% win rate, maybe I'll close 4 CR and I'll meet my quarterly numbers. So this is a skill that, knowing how much pipeline I need to have at the start of every quarter, so that I have a high probability of meeting my numbers. Next, if I have to, now this is again a little bit more of a B2B, but B2C also we'll look at that. From a B2B perspective, how many deals do I need to do to achieve my target, my growth target? There will be something that will come from existing business. There's something that's coming from growth. There's something growth of existing accounts. There's something that's coming from net new accounts, new logos. How many deals do I think I need to close? Don't I need to know at the start of the year that I need to close at least 30 deals, boss? 30 deals I do, then I will meet my 200 crore target. Otherwise, I won't. But 30 deals is not easy. I mean, it depends on what kind of win rate you have, what kind of reputation you have in market. Are you getting into a new market or you're working in your existing markets? It all depends on that. You're getting into a new market and saying that we're getting into US market this year and we want to do at least 10 deals in the US market in the first year. You're going to have to invest a lot of money. You'll have to put in a lot of salespeople on the ground, a lot of partners on the ground who will show tremendous inertia in the first year. And you're going to be panicking because they're expensive. You're spending money on their salaries. You're not getting any revenue. You need to be clear that, okay, US, I'm making an entry this year, pure investment. That's okay. And I've got investment from outside. I'm using other people's money to get into the US market. Very cool. No problem. I don't mind putting 3 salespeople on the ground and 3-4 partners so that I can start my business. But I need to have that clarity in the how many deals I need to do in the year 1. I can't give unreasonable targets to myself or my sales team both. Okay, like that. So how many deals, and especially how many large deals? Because especially in the B2B business, if you only focus on run rate deals, you're not going to do your numbers. It's like T20. T20 is going on right now, right? I mean, if let's say KKR scores 180 runs, okay, at the midway stage, they say that SRH needs to score 180. Let's say they score 179. So SRH needs to score 180 runs in 120 balls. Now, if they score 2 runs per ball, well, they don't need 120 balls, right? In 90 balls, they will be able to, in 15 overs, they'll meet the target, 2 runs per ball. But we know that 2 runs per ball doesn't happen. Every ball, they don't score 2 runs because there are dot balls. In the same way, even in business, when you're running a sales organization, there will be dot balls. There will be deals that you're working on that don't close. Just by hitting 1s and 2s, nobody meets a target. They need 4s and 6s. So we need to plan for that upfront, that how many large deals do I need to close in order to meet my growth target. And large deals typically take longer. Large logos, new territories, new businesses, new whatever, right? Anything that's new and large takes a long time to fructify. So if I wake up sometime in, July, August, we should do some large deals, it's already too late. You need to do that now. Do it now so that at least you have a good runway of 8-9 months to close good enough number of large deals so that you can meet your target. Okay. How many salespeople do I need? By when? Okay. If, for example, we were discussing, right, you've got 10 salespeople, I want to double. Suppose your calculation based on number of deals, based on growth targets, you decide that I need to add another 7 salespeople. The obvious next question is, by when? Should they all be in place on 1st of April? Or I need 7 people, 3 people we can add in Q1. The remaining 4 we can add in Q2. Very good. Okay. But there has to be a logic. There has to be a rationale for that. Because the one who you added in Q1, okay, typically you should have already made an offer to them in Q4. February, you should have already made an offer to them. Then they will probably join in April. And after they join in April, they're going to take a couple of months to settle down to figure out your product, your service, your offerings, whatever it is. And by the time they become productive, already 3 to 4 months have gone. So if someone joins in Q2, you're basically looking at them becoming productive in Q3. So you get my point? So, when a salesperson joins is as important as the head count. That when are they going to join? When are they going to become productive? It's very important. Then what will my sales structure look like? How many field people who are in the field meeting with customers face to face? How many inside sales reps? Now, if you're selling a low value product, you'll probably function more with inside sales reps who are remote calling, remote demos, remote stuff. If you're a B2C, then how many channel partners, how many distributors, how many dealers, how many retail outlets do I have today? How many do I need to touch to meet my growth targets? Will my existing retailers give me more business, or do I need to add more retailers? I need to have answers to these questions. If I'm going D2C, right? I mean, most consumer product companies are going D2C today. If I'm going D2C, then I need a whole e-commerce channel set up with all the product information and everything put up on my website. A lot of work needs to go in there. It's very easy to say, let's go D2C. But yeah, it's not so easy to do it, right? It requires a lot of effort. In software, there's this concept of product-led growth where everything is so simplified, everything is put on a website. Someone can just come to your website, see your product, and buy right there. Right? It's a D2C of the B2B world. Okay. Again, if that is what I want to do from a sales perspective, I certainly need to plan for it. I need to execute on it. How many managers do I need? I may have a sales team, let's say 10 people today, all reporting to me, the CEO. But when I have 17 people, already it will be chaotic, with 10 people reporting. But if you make that 10 into 17, there is no way that 17 people, sales people can report to you and be effective. It's just not possible. You'll need to add sales managers. So what's the sales structure? You see, so each of these elements are things that you need to look at from a sales planning perspective. Similarly, what sales process will they follow? Now, I have a sales team. I've got 17 people, of which 10 people have been in the system for 2 years, 10 years, 15 years, whatever, right? They know how to sell. But now I added a new set of people. How will they sell? Like, for example, this is a B2B sales cycle. Again, my apologies. I'm just giving you a feel that any sales cycle starts with prospecting, figuring out who my clients could be. Then it's qualifying, figuring out, do I want to engage with this client? Is there a deal here? Is there a potential in this market? That's qualifying. Then value selling, pitching my product, pitching my service, pitching my offering to my target market. Then you handle objections, then you negotiate and close. And after you've closed the account, there's the aspect of account management. Each of these processes, okay, I want to take home this one point. You can note down if you wish that each of these sales processes is important, because sales is like a multiplication. Anything, in multiplication, say anything multiplied by 0 is 0. So in your sales process, if you are doing very well in finding clients, you're doing very well in pitching your solution, you're doing very well in negotiating, but you're not doing well in qualifying. You're not doing well in really understanding what the client needs and then pitching your solution. Guess what? Your win rate is going to be very low. So if you don't do a good job in any one of these, stages of the sales cycle, you get a 0 in any one of these, anything multiplied by 0 is 0. You lose the deal, you lose the business, you lose the territory. So sales process becomes very important. How are my sales people selling? I need to plan for that. Then how will we incentivize them? What is their fixed salary? What is their variable salary? How much, are they being paid variable? Is it percentage of deal value? Is it bonus? Is it commission? When do we pay it? Do we pay it at every quarter? Do we pay it at the end of the year? Do we pay it promptly, or do we, drag it? Well, that's a personally, I always say it is very, very important that compensation has to be timely. That is one of the most important aspects of being the CEO of a company, ensuring that salary and variable gets paid out on time. Whatever that time, you declare it right up front. Tell them that this is when you will be paid. But if they have done their numbers, they should be paid. So how will we incentivize them? How will we manage them? Now we have a team in place, okay? We have a team in place. We have taught them how to sell. We are giving them an incentive plan, but how will we manage them? Who will manage them? How will we conduct reviews? How will we measure their performance? I need to be clear right now. I can't set parameters for the salespeople as we go along. I need to have that clarity now. So the earlier I know, the more effective I will be in getting business results. So if I right now, we are on what's the date today? It's 3rd April, right? 3rd or 4th April, I forgot. Whatever the date is, 3rd April. So right now, just imagine if every salesperson in my sales team knows what is their target for FY26, knows what is their salary, current salary. They'll get an increment on that, hopefully. at appraisal time, but they know what is their fixed salary. They know what is their variable salary, and they know that if they meet their targets, I will make this much additional money over and above my fixed salary. If they already have that clarity, beautiful, because then there is no excuse. Sales guy is like that, that guy is given a territory, he's given a target, he is given a compensation. After that, he or she has to just start running. That's it. Right? So this is so important, knowing that how we will manage them. If you have given them clarity on their targets and their compensation, we can manage them well. Otherwise, it becomes very difficult. Another important question, I'm not going there because every company is different, but and it's not sales planning, but it is an important aspect that what is my fulfillment, supply chain? That if I'm a B2C business, what's my supply chain? If I'm a software or product services product company, how good is my implementation team? How good is my service support team? If I'm a services company, how good is my recruiting team? How quickly am I able to recruit? How good, how well trained, how certified are my team? So is my fulfillment engine, all what we've been talking till now is the sales engine, but is my fulfillment engine also ready? That's also an important consideration. And one last question in planning is, what can go wrong, right? I mean, you may make a beautiful PowerPoint presentation with all nice moving parts, beautiful looking, shiny presentation. This is my strategy. This is my sales plan. This is how, so strategy, structure, process, compensation, sales management, all elements I've thought of. Everything is in place, okay? But what can go wrong? What can go wrong is a very, very strategic question that the CEO has to think of first. Forcing yourself to think. No, because sometimes we become, blinded by our ambitions or by our inertia, our momentum. We get blinded. We don't see what can go wrong, but you should see. You should ask yourself this question. You should ask your leaders this question, your sales leaders, your HR leaders, your finance leaders, your procurement, manufacturing, supply chain, whatever, right? I mean, delivery. You should ask your product development teams, ask them. There is a plan. We have put in place a plan, a strategy for growing our business this year. What could go wrong? And be willing to listen. I've seen too many CEOs who are not willing to listen. As a consultant and as a trainer, I have the privilege of interacting with multiple CEOs, multiple kinds of businesses, right? And there are some CEOs who upfront are willing to listen. And there are some who are like very clear, I already know. I just want to validate. So you just tell me what I'm thinking is correct or not. I prefer not to engage with such clients. But, at least for yourself, you should be willing to take feedback, willing to hear what could go wrong. Otherwise, people will be afraid to give you feedback and you learn about what is going wrong too late. Think about what could go wrong, so that you can, as far as possible, as they say, this is a whole science by itself, right? Risk management. Looking at what are the risks that could, kind of capsize your boat. Your boat that is going in a particular direction, that arrow which is going towards the target, which we saw in the beginning, be completely capsized because you didn't think of certain things. Think of it upfront. Think of what I can do to ensure that that doesn't happen. And if it happens, what I need to do to address it ASAP. So this is a very critical step that we miss when we do planning. Doing it will kind of, I'll not say ironclad, but definitely will put some sort of an armor around your plan. You're like more confident. Those who are at a 4 will probably go to a 7. Those who are at 7 will go to a 8 or a 9. The first question that we did. So these are some of the aspects I wanted to share with you all in terms of sales strategy and sales planning. As a takeaway, now this lady is pointing at you guys. I'm also pointing at you and I'm asking you, take down 2, 3, 5 minutes, whatever, to write down what are the 3 bold moves that you will make in the current financial year. 3 bold moves that you'll make in the next 90 days to drive business growth. Next 3 months, April, May, June. What are the 3 bold moves that you will make that to take your business to the next level? Just take down 3-4 minutes and write it down. You don't have to share it with me, but at least write it down for your own self. If you want to share, you can share. Anyone who feels that I don't mind, I'm willing to share. But if you don't want to share, never mind. I don't need you to. I just need you to write it down. Because when you write it down, you become more committed to it. Otherwise, just thinking, I'll do this, I'll get into new markets, doesn't work. But if you write it down, you become a little more committed to it. So please take a few minutes and write down. Yeah, in the chat, there were some nice points. I missed those. We need mindset for leaders. We need mindset for growth. We need to check process and cut costs. Their capacity building to deliver to customer. Yeah, absolutely. Planning of marketing and branding is also very important apart from the sales team. Yeah, I touched on that as well. Very nice points. Yeah. Sales process, purchase process, billing, delivery accounts, all team linked with one goal. Sales conversion rate. Okay, lovely. People have started putting a few points that I want to improve the sales conversion rate, introduce new products. Very nice. Okay. Write them down. Yeah, this I will do. This I will do at any cost, because that becomes then your personal agenda. That these 3-4 points I want to drive. And, along with everything else that you're doing as a CEO, practically every function, our fingers and our toes are in every function. HR, finance, procurement, manufacturing, delivery, operations, sales, marketing, everything. Because all those leaders hopefully report to us. And if you're running a small ship, then practically you are in the operations also. Should not be like that. But yeah, it could happen that way. So you get overwhelmed sometimes and you get lost. Then you become like that leaf which is floating around. Don't become that leaf. Write down what are those 3 things that you want to drive business growth. Once you're done, please put it in chat that done. And I hope at least this time I'll get more than 4 responses. Last time I got only 4 responses. This time I'd love to see at least maybe 10, 12 responses. That tells me that you guys have been engaged. You've been part of this. Once you're done, please put in the chat, done. Lovely. So we've got around 5 responses, 5, 6. Okay, and we are seeing a dwindling participation. We are down to last 20 now. So, okay, good. So, I hope all of you have actually written down at least 3 things and do this because, otherwise you're not really taken away anything from the whole session. You invested, 1.5 hours of this time, of your valuable time for this, and I hope it was valuable as well for you. But put some takeaways because, your competitors are planning right now. Whether you're doing it or not, your competitors are doing it. There could be someone like me talking to a competitor, sitting with them right now and doing this planning activity with them. So what are you going to do? Will you outthink them or will you just be playing catch up? This is what I want you to think about. Don't just go away from this meeting without, clarity on that. Do think about it. Okay. One last slide, as I said, at least one slide, mere bare mein. I do basically all the questions that I put there, all the thoughts that I put there. I help with solving these things for companies. So I do consulting engagements on strategy, on structure, on sales process, on compensation, on sales management. Also, I do training on sales process. My specialty is what I call value selling, identifying value and then pitching value to clients. I train salespeople on value selling. I'm also an executive coach. I'm also an certified independent director. Don't do much of it, but yeah, I am a certified independent director as well. And I also recommend software if clients need it for their growth. So that's about me. I would now open up for any questions. Anybody, any questions? They can.
Yeah, before questions, Siddharthji, and you have fulfilled your promise. And you, when we had the last networking meeting, I requested you to hold a session. I know you are very busy, and you told yesterday also that it takes any presentation you need 24 hours. And I hope everyone have utilized your time, value. So thank you very much for your wonderful eye-opening thoughts. So
my pleasure. My pleasure.
Let the people raise the hands. We will moderate and we can ask the questions one by one. We can restrict the questions as quickly as can. Small, you crisp. You introduce yourself and unmute and you can ask your questions, but I will moderate. You can raise your hands if you are having, if at all you have got any questions. Two people will not, have any questions. One is who know and learned anything and everything, who don't know anything. Another one is who don't know anything actually. So now the time for people to ask questions from our expert and the chief guest and the trainer, Siddharth.
So any questions, anybody questions or comments are also welcome. Yeah, Pankaj.
Okay. So I have one question, sir.
I just want to check in your presentation at some point you use the word logos. So is that the Hindi term log or it is like logo, the brand logos?
Brand logo.
Okay, brand logos. Basically the
new clients.
Okay, right. Thanks.
Siddharthji, I got a quick question. And
yes,
do we have to plan the financial year during the financial year or prior to the financial year beginning?
A great question. So obviously, most companies do it before the start of the financial year. Most of you would have done it. I mean, I presume manufacturing companies, they have a very elaborate budgeting exercise, right? Where all the functional leaders come together, top-down budgeting, bottom-up budgeting. All that tamasha is done typically in Q4. It should be done in Q4. It should not be left for the last minute. So for those of you who have already done it, fantastic. Just use the questions that I have given you from a strategic perspective and from a sales planning perspective, and just see if you have answered those questions as well as part of the activity that you did. If you have not done it, do it now. No better time than now. Okay, we didn't do it. Never mind. But do it now, because if you do it now, at least now you set yourself up for some sort of a successful, year. Otherwise, you'll be like that leaf, just being pushed around by the winds of change. Yeah.
Siddharthji, my question is, our CAGR for the last 4 years is at 25% continuously.
Okay, fantastic.
Without any sales effort.
Congratulations, sir.
But we are facing a lot of problem in capacity building to handle the growth, because we work on the pain point of the customer. We are into the service industry.
Okay.
And our one of the USP is longevity with the customer.
Okay.
So our customers we are handling for the last 25-30 years continuously.
So if you're a services company and you've been growing by 25% per year, okay, that means that obviously you have a good brand, and you have a good number of existing customers as well. So that's why growth is happening. So capacity building, well, like any, I don't know what service you're into, but
We are into institutional catering services. We are the competitor
catering.
of
Okay,
Compass and Sodexo.
got it. So if you're into
I'm
the
presently
catering
serving
business,
to 8 Fortune 500 companies.
got it, got it. So if you're in the catering business, I mean, whatever business you are in, basically we need to plan for it. You need a good HR leader who can, as a CEO, you need to have a good HR leader who can actually guide you in terms of, recruitment planning, in terms of, compensation planning, because you would be having some sort of attrition. Services companies' typical problem is a lot of attrition happens. So if you have a good HR leader, that person can help you with that capacity planning. That that okay, we are having, let's say, 150 people. Okay, we need to grow to, let's say, 200. We need to add those 50 people by this time frame. Okay, to do that, we're going to have, out of 150, we will have an attrition of maybe 15, 20 people will leave. 10% attrition is going to be there. In some services companies, even 40% attrition is there. So then over hiring needs to be done proactively. You need to have a bench, that knowing that some people are going to leave, keep planning for that. So that is a completely different, it's more of an HR topic. But if you have a good HR leader, you can push them to do this for you, do the, manpower planning. And then based on that, put in place your, your planning, your recruitment targets, and, start driving it like. So that's what I would say. Because it's not exactly a sales question, but yeah, it is a relevant question, because all companies struggle with this only, that, sometimes the companies which are growing fast, for them the challenge is not sales growth. For them the challenge is more in terms of delivering on that growth. So
Management.
yeah.
Thank you
There are
very
some.
much. Thank
Yeah,
you.
good evening,
My pleasure,
Siddharth.
man.
Want to ask, we will restrict with two more questions. Why I want to tell you is, as a CEO's club, we want to restrict on the time. Now we told about 7 to 8:30, and another 5 more minutes we can open the.
Sure. We started at
Networking session.
7:15, so 8:45 we can wind up. Yeah,
Yeah,
Ramendra.
5 minutes. 5 minutes here and there. So now next, who is going to ask the questions, please?
Ramendra. He's raised his hand.
Siddharth, I mean, now since you were talking with Mr. Gupta, and I'm an HR person, so so I have been working, and
Yeah.
then for last couple of months, because of certain reasons, my own, I decided to get into the consultancy work of HR, right?
Sure.
And then I've got an offer also, but I'm just thinking of. I mean, my question is, right now, the presentation that you showed right now was very interesting, but at the same time, it is more of, for people who are already into it for last 1 year, 2 years, and they have some revenue that they have built in. And then of course, when they follow the path that you showed, they would add uh, more revenue, or they do more sales, more marketing, and they earn more.
Yeah.
So my question, of course, may not be too relevant, but would like to understand, maybe offline we'll talk, that how to enter into the market, because I have worked with a company,
Yeah.
which and I have set up everything for them, taking full
Yeah.
responsibility,
So you want to start out as a freelancer? Is that what you're saying?
So
you do
in
one
those
thing.
finding,
Just message me one-to-one. I have
Okay.
actually made a series of 3 videos for
Okay.
someone who's moving from employment to freelancing.
Right.
What do they
Right.
need to do? What
Fine.
is the mindset change? What are the skill set change? And what are the first 90 days what they need to do? I made 3 videos on
Got
that,
it.
short videos, just 6 minutes. You
No
can
problem.
just message me, and I'll be
I'll do
happy
that.
to share it with you.
I'll do that. Yeah. Thank you.
Siddharth,
Thank
sir,
you
if
very much.
possible, you can share on our CEO club too, so that other members, those who are interested, they can also check your videos.
Yeah. Happy to.
So if you
Okay.
share on the club, then good for all of us.
Good.
Yes.
One more thing is, I think one more Siddharth.
One more Siddharth has
is,
raised his hand.
Siddharth to Siddharth now. Yes to
Yeah,
yes.
go ahead. Go ahead, Siddharth. Yeah.
Hi, I'm in the middle of a street outside the temple, so I'll
No
switch
problem.
off the camera. Just shut it for
No
1
problem.
minute.
Yeah.
So,
Go ahead.
uh, good evening, Siddharthji. Thank you so much for the time that you are spending and enlightening everyone.
My
So,
pleasure.
I am from uh, like uh, fourth generation entrepreneur.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, my grandfather's grandfather started the businesses. Then my father started some new business.
Mhm.
My grandfather started another business. So I have been inherited with two businesses, and one I started on my own, and that
Okay.
is related to software development.
Sure.
So we develop uh, ERP and different business solutions.
Sure.
So my question is that uh, handling three different businesses of three different domains. One is into metal, one is into wood and timber, is into software.
ERP. Yeah.
Yes, sir. So handling these three from sales perspective is currently becoming a challenge for me.
Yeah. And
And
I can
whenever I,
imagine this, you're
yes, sir.
spreading yourself across three businesses, always a difficult thing.
And maybe I know that cannot be answered in a minute, so I messaged you, and maybe one to
No,
one
no, we can
I
reach out.
would
Yeah, we
reply.
can reach out. We
Yes,
can
sir.
reach out. Yeah.
And meanwhile, uh, many people say that one thing is that you should focus on, and so on that perspective, can you
See, it
suggest?
is like this.
And
It
we'll
is like
comment. Yes.
this. There is no straight answer, but basically, we have to look at the maturity of the three businesses. Now, if your steel business and your timber business, wood business, if they are mature businesses which have been growing they're old businesses. I think they've been around for a while, and like you said, fourth generation. So they've been around for a while. There is a leadership team in place, and they are they're running the business very well. Then your job is basically to just support them and give them directions, right? So you don't have to
Right.
be so much in an executive capacity. Then you can focus on the new business, the software business, because software requires tremendous amount of focus. A lot of bandwidth will be lost there. But if your core businesses are themselves struggling a little bit, then yeah, it becomes difficult to also run that in parallel. So yeah, that's a longer conversation. But
Yes.
this is the short answer, that if your core businesses are stable and growing at a decent clip, then you can invest maybe more time on the software business to bring it to that stable point, and then again hand it over to a good set of sales leaders, finance, HR leaders, so that then they can run the business, and you're like acting like a like a non-executive chairman of all three companies, something like that. Yeah. There
Okay,
was
sir.
another
Siddharthji, I have
question
got
from Smiley.
Srini, you
There was
want to ask something?
yeah, 1 minute. No, 1 minute. Siddharthji, with regard to the Siddharth, another Siddharth point, I have a point to add. Suppose if three businesses are there, my suggestion is if he has got cousins and brothers, and
correct. Yeah.
each one can take each business, or he can work on the autopilot mode or automation process, and so that the CEO can be appointed for each group. Actually, for example,
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
this business one CEO and the other CEO, and correct me if I am wrong. And just my
No,
thoughts.
absolutely. It depends on the size of the company and the particular situation of the person, right? So therefore, I didn't say that, but absolutely, 100%, I agree with you. Smiley, you
Okay.
had a question?
Yeah, hi Siddharth, and thank you for the insights. It's not a question, like another
Comment,
person, Mr. Ramendra just said, he is from HR background. I'm from operations background, and I also switched from the job to consulting. And when you were talking
Welcome
about,
to the club.
I was writing. Thank you. I implement lean management and Lean Six Sigma. I'm qualified there. So I was writing, there you said if you want to, plan your sales, strategy, the first thing you said, improve your processes.
Yeah.
It's not question, it's a question or a query or whatever you take it as.
Yeah.
When I meet people, they do not understand the, value of operational excellence or improving their processes. That how they talk about sales, how we can increase the revenue, how we can say increase the sales. Although sometimes I'm able to explain them by, making the processes right, interdepartmental functioning, you reduce on your cost and your deliverable is fast. Your customer satisfaction is better. So revenue will generate itself. Anyway, the profit will show at the year end. So how, when you say improve the process to people while giving the sales pitch, I mean, how do you make them understand that? Man, I have been, struggling doing it. In the CEO club itself, I have put in 2-3 times.
I'm sorry, I
another
should have
thing,
seen that earlier.
99%.
Yeah. I'll just give a
I have
quick
been working
answer.
from almost 25 years, and
I'll just give a
99%
quick
of the
answer,
time.
Smiley. I'll just give a quick answer because, again, interest of
I
time.
understand
I'm
that
okay to
because
continue. I'm okay to continue, but if others need to drop off, they can do that. See, the concept is that, what you are talking about, which is, improving the manufacturing process or optimizing the manufacturing process is the solution. What is the business problem? If you are not clear about what is that's why you remember somewhere in between I said value proposition.
Yes.
So value proposition is about understanding who are the stakeholders who have an unacceptable amount of pain.
Yes.
Which you can solve. First, find those stakeholders, understand what problems they have, pinch them on those problems, probe deep to understand the business impact of those problems, and then give your solution. This is process improvement, this is process optimization, this is an inventory problem, this is a production scheduling problem, and so on and so forth. Otherwise, you're starting with a solution and they feel I don't have a problem, so they'll never buy like that. That's the short answer.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you so much.
there is a question from the chat box. How can we successfully position and sell our products or service at a higher price than all of our competition?
Yeah, so it's a very normal question. Basically, if you have to sell your product or services at a higher price than the competitor, you have to create that much value in the mind of your customer. It's a combination of multiple things. It's a combination of your product quality has to be significantly better. The way you sell it, package it, and sell it has to be significantly better. The way the buying point, how a customer ends up buying that product or service, that buying experience has to be very professional, very premium. After they buy the product, what service do they get? What is their experience in using the product? Then they will give testimonials, they'll give ratings. Based on that, you're able to command a premium. See, because it's very easy to say, I want to have a premium, but there are multiple elements that go into it. Product quality, your sales team has to be trained to talk like that, to understand problems of customers, and then, deeply position your product, the value of your product. Because ultimately, that is the job of a sales and marketing professional, right? To keep increasing the perceived value of your product. If the perceived value is not high, it's like, I'll just give you an example, right? There is an Ola, okay? There is an Ola which gives a taxi service. Now, Ola has got the basic car, which will come for maybe $300. They've got the sedan, which will come for maybe $450. And then they've got that XL car, which will come for $600. Now, why will I, as an individual, going with only me and my wife from here to maybe another place, why will I take the XL car? I will take it only if first of all, XL is probably only used by people who don't have a car, or their car is already being used by somebody else. Mostly someone who's in that category will have their own car and their own driver. So, you have to be very clear that what is the problem you are solving? Is that problem really worth solving? Will the person pay a premium for it? If you are not clear, customer also will not be clear. Remember, I said, you are not clear about your value proposition. Client will not be clear. They will not pay you the premium. But if you are clear, you're solving a problem in such a way that nobody else can solve it at the level, at the quality, at the professionalism that you can, then only you can command a premium. Otherwise, you can't. Sorry for that.
Siddharth, yeah.
If I hurt somebody's sentiments or saying that. Pankaj had raised his hand.
No, Siddharth, what we can do, we can restrict with two more questions.
Catherine asking for a long time.
No, two more questions. Yeah. Two more questions. We will continue. We will confirm.
So take the question of Catherine.
No, Siddharth. Two more questions.
Sir, whatever you say, sir. You want to stop right now? I am okay. You want to continue? I am okay.
What I am telling you,
time till 9
know.
o'clock.
No, sir. We can continue. I am as a part of the organizing team. I am ready up to 10 o'clock. But I don't want to set a wrong example that we told 7 to 8:30 is the meeting, but we are continuing like that. The people will not like that. That is approach which we want to bring.
So we can pause. We can take this offline also. I am okay. Whatever you say.
Let us have two more questions. Only one question, Madam Kate.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, you may please ask, Madam.
Yeah, good evening to everyone. And a small question raises what Duraiji has told, that is a clarity how much package we are giving to the public. Means the item is the same, but we would like to give a very high rate with the quality what sir has told. That like it will be a USP that our price is this, but what effectively are we going to show to the customer, and they feel that it is something special. Maybe that may be helpful. And the other point, sir, I want to introduce a small thing. We are the first time in India we have kept a showroom of LED video walls in India, because there are dealers and there are distributors and there are manufacturers. But in our knowledge, there is no showroom with all the items at one place, we believe. And that belief itself will make us forward. So the point here is, Siddharthji, aap jo bataya, we are comfortable and we got a good message. But the point here is what Dorai sir was telling, and even the quality is the same. The bench brand itself will sell something. The quality, the features, everything. Example, we make our LED video walls only. To an extent, we'll have the quality.
Yeah.
But after the extent, branding or something more USP, we speak about it or we show that environment to our customer. So that is also one of the reason we have established this showroom.
Sure.
Because I think the TV showrooms at past 20 years or 25 years back, there used to be one or two TV showrooms.
Okay. Is there a question, Ketan? Sorry. Is there a question?
What is your question, please?
Our question is that do you suggest that this LED video walls showroom can be a franchisee model will be better? Or do you say that something more, what will be special? Because showroom is first time.
Impossible for me to answer this question, honestly, because without really studying your business and understanding, what your value proposition is, what's your current market spread, what target segments are you going for, impossible to answer. But I think, it's a deeper, it needs a deeper engagement. So if you want to know, incidentally, I'll put my phone number and email ID on this. I'll put it on the WhatsApp group as well. If anybody needs to, feel free to reach out.
One final question, we can close it with that, and which is in the chat box. How can one position employer branding in a small organization, SME startups? So with this question answered, we can close the meeting. You may please answer.
In a small organization, basically, first get your own employees. Okay, make your own employees as ambassadors of your organization. Whenever something is posted on LinkedIn, let them repost and let them comment and like on LinkedIn. B, keep them happy. Ensure that they are happy and satisfied. C, request, if they are happy and satisfied, request them to refer their friends, their friends, relatives, etc. If they are happy, they will. If they are not happy, they won't. So if they are not referring, then you have to understand that they are not happy. Do a survey, find out what's wrong, sort it out, then you'll get that.
Good. Finally, the final message is keep the employees happy.
Keep the customer happy, keep the employee happy. That's your only job.
And we can also say stakeholder happiness.
Human resource. Finally, the human resource.
Keep your employees happy, keep your customers happy. If these two stakeholders are happy, your shareholders also will be happy. That's what I believe.
Okay.
Actually, sir,
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
we
I
have
think
come to
on
the
that
we have
note,
come to the end of the
Yeah.
end of the event and the webinar. And yesterday evening or day before yesterday, and Siddharthi and myself had a talk. He was asking me whether we have the webinar or not, because the registration was very poor and it was about in the single digit. It was actually later on my team from telemarketing called, and also I have repeated messages, and I am telling you, I have a yoga master. He is 80 plus years age. He used to say,
right.
only people who are lucky can come to yoga. Like that, the people who are lucky today has attended the webinar. I am sure I myself personally have learned a lot of things, and I must give the first hand witness to Siddharji and pranams, and thank you very much for your valuable words. I know this session could have no value for this actually. We cannot say, we cannot convert it to a form of value. For example, if you have gone for a consultation to a company of this thing, I know the what is the valuation for this program. And thank you very much on behalf of the organizing team of CEO Group and CEO Club, and we thank everyone for participating today, and hope for in future we are planning to bring out lot of new and interesting and important and useful programs. Stay tuned. Please attend all the CEO programs, and we are not expecting anything. We want your love and affection towards the CEO Club. We want this club to grow, and so that we will be able to employ more and more people. We will be able to take care of the Indian economy to grow to the next level. Thank you
I
very
have a
much.
suggestion. I have a suggestion that for those of you who attended and those who liked it, maybe you can just put a small word on the CEO group so that people will feel
testimonial.
encouraged to attend the next one. Yeah, like that.
So
Yeah, thank you.
feedback is very important. So write down some kind words about the program, about the speaker, about our CEO club, and you can also give the suggestion how we can improve this. So your suggestion is also very important. So I suggest to become active so that we get energy to organize number of other programs too. Actually, Durai sir, me and our team doing a lot of homework, a lot of
No, you're really pushing hard.
session
You're
like
really
this.
pushing hard. Really appreciate that. But I think on that note, let's end. It's exactly 9 o'clock now. Let's end.
Okay.
And thank you everybody for joining, and thank you
Thank
for
you.
your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
So
everyone.
thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks
Thank
to
you.
all
See you.
members.
See you
Thanks to
during the
Siddharth
next
and Durai
event.
sir,
Thank you very
all
much.
the
Take care.
members.
Yeah.
Take
bye.
care.
Have a
Bye.
Thank you,
great time.
Prabhuji. Thank you. Durai,
Okay.
thank you,
Now
everyone. Thank you.
the Zoom is closed for the day.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.